Welcome everybody, I'm 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my kids' comics. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and hopefully you're all just filled to the brim with turkey. Anyway, speaking of birds, it's been a while since we reviewed our favorite bird-themed hero from Worldwide Comics, Blue Jay. So I thought, what better time than now, with Blue Jay, issue number 3, Rise of the Cardinal. And for those unfamiliar, Cardinal here is the latest creation from Worldwide Comics' second-in-command, Ellie. So, yeah, let's check it out. Beginning with the overall presentation, Blue Jay number 3 follows the same format as the first issue, 8.5 by 11 paper, folded in half with a triple staple binding. The cover features our title hero Blue Jay, accompanied by newcomer to the series Cardinal. Cardinal is the creation of Worldwide Comics' second-in-command, Ellie, and was initially created for an animated featurette, which is still currently in production, but focused on how these two bird-themed heroes first met. While taking on a similar appearance, their powers are nothing alike, with Cardinal's main ability being flight, while Blue Jay is just a spiky tank. The featured villain in this issue was a brand new creation that actually was the combined effort of Nolan, myself, and my youngest son Levi. I don't remember what awful conversation led to the concept of a monster called the Flesh Tooth, but it's just an awful sounding name. Flesh Tooth. The only Marianelli boy not listed in the credits is Nolan's former editor and big brother Milo, who was sadly excluded from the creation of this book following a nasty altercation in which their mother asked Nolan to grab a bottle of water for school, and Milo decided to be helpful and hand Nolan a bottle before he could get one himself. The audacity of it all. Touching a bottle and expecting your brother to be forced into a situation where he has to put his bare hands on the same bottle. It was almost as explosive as that one time Milo made the highly offensive decision to sit next to Nolan at the dinner table. Who does that, am I right? In any case, almost as if it were worldwide tradition at this point, the lack of editor is apparent, but it's thinly excused via the fact that Blue Jay's accent is forcing the lettering to be written phonetically rather than grammatically. Again, it's thin. The interiors are presented in black and white and illustrated using a mechanical pencil. The artwork is, per usual, top-notch and shows a very obvious upgrade in style and technique from the previous two Blue Jay issues. You could almost consider it a unique blend of both. It leans more into the cartoonier style of issue 1, but incorporates far more detail and shading techniques, more in line with issue 2. But you know what? Rather than talking about the art, let's just take a look at it ourselves, as we read it. Okay.
So there's a man named Davidson Getsabi, the Flesh Tooth. He had an experiment go wrong, and he turned into this creep. He only ate wild creatures until a hunter tried to shoot him. Then he got a new favorite food, human. And now this creep has been swimming in the ocean until he found Fort Worth. Great, a new threat. Then, later when I was looking for him, I spotted a mysterious lady. Apparently it was my girlfriend. She became a superhero named Cardinal.
Hey, Blue!
What up? She knew it was me somehow, and I knew it was her. I told her about the Flesh Tooth situation, and she was both scared and ticked off.
Crap!
A thought popped into her head. She said that she saw a white monster in the street. He then walked into the building's vents. Let's go! We traveled to the vents and crawled for an hour, but couldn't find him. Then I did. He also spotted me and Cardinal back. Crap. I, Blue Jay, turned the other way and ran, and shot some spikes at Flesh Tooth. What the? I fell through the vents and jacked my face up. Now Christy, Cardinal, was in a stump. I climbed up to the vents to find her.
Meanwhile,
she crashes from the vents to the office above. Christy loops and flies back down to the room I'm in.
Ouch! Headache!
Advil?
Yeah!
Flesh Tooth crashes down. Also, he grew. So we tore out a tooth and stabbed it into him.
Ugh! Too much blood! Smirk!
Christy is horrified from all the blood, but after a few days, she was cool.
The end. I like that the first-person narration from issue 2 is carried over into issue 3. It's reminiscent of the classic Chris Claremont Wolverine run from the 80s, which is appropriate, as Blue Jay was greatly inspired by the savage Canadian himself. While series like Black Widow and Super Nolan have carried a consistent tone and style since their inception, the Blue Jay series is unique in that you can see Nolan figuring out the proper approach through each issue. It's a series in a constant state of evolution and growth. In issue 1, the approach was more traditional, blending easily with the rest of the solo series in the worldwide universe. Issue 2 saw a drastic change, taking on the tone of the spectacular universe, only cranked to 11, with almost no humor or lightheartedness at all. It was dark, it was violent, and it was unlike anything we had seen from the young creator at that point in his career. Issue number 3 seems to have found a healthy balance of grit and humor, even some self-realization about the gorier aspects of the series when Cardinal is temporarily traumatized by the amount of blood that ensued from the book's resolution. The simpler art style allowed for a longer page count, as less effort was needed in the character illustrations. But even with the simpler approach, Nolan managed to include some masterful anatomy and detailed shading, giving this particular book an appearance that stands out amongst the other titles in the company. Outlining Blue Jay with a softer, more good-natured heroine was a masterful choice on the part of Ellie, providing a fun contrast to the usual rough and gruff demeanor of our title hero, all the while giving Blue Jay a partner in not crime that can hold her own against the most savage of beasts. A true ride-or-die teammate that I think is going to be quite beloved in the worldwide community as a whole. I should address one thing about this series' place in the worldwide universe. Up until now, the Blue Jay series has been theorized to be part of the spectacular universe, as there were some crossover themes as well as the style presented in issue number 2. For the time being, I believe my theory holds true that the Spectacularverse and the original timeline merged following Blue Jay's use of the mysterious crystal in Spectacular Black Widow issue number 4. For all intents and purposes, the Spectacularverse has been discontinued, with the final issue being released earlier this year. Either way, the Blue Jay series can exist pretty easily in either timeline, as there's no lore-breaking material to be found in any of the issues. They're self-contained to the point that we can easily just ignore any previous notions of their relevance in the Spectacularverse and just move on from that timeline as a whole. Multiverses are a headache anyway. One last thing to point out is the reference to the character named the Bald Eagle on the cover. This was the least subtle case of foreshadowing to date from the young creators, as it just flat out says the next character being introduced in issue number 4. So stay tuned for that review when we get to meet this guy. And there you have it. Blue Jay, number 3, Rise of the Cardinal. I love it. This series, you never actually know what you're actually going to get from these books. Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be serious? Is it going to be dark, violent, lighthearted? And this one definitely was kind of a mix of all those things blended into one. I like it. And I definitely like Cardinal, the addition of Cardinal as a character. I think she's a good complement to the big fella. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give my official rating of Blue Jay number 3. I don't know, 42 Tupperware containers full of leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. Y'all know you're still eating it. We're going to be eating it for the next month. All right, that's all I got. Sub it, like it, share it, I'm out.